Hi, guys. I just want to focus on something today. I'm going to rant for a little bit, but this is going to be about The Sound of Freedom. I'm a huge supporter of this movie. I'm a huge supporter of watching it at any theater you can, whether it be AMC, Cinemark, or anywhere it's showing. I don't care what it takes. You guys need to watch this movie. It's very informative about human sex trafficking of children and how it has become a huge problem throughout the United States and the world alike. Now, if you guys don't know my background, before I was ever in this corporate world, I was a CAPA investigator. Now, what does that mean? Well, I was in the military police. I went to training. I went to school. It's Child Abuse Prevention Investigative Techniques, CAPA. I was a graduate. And what that school is, and it's there for you, it's at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Shout out to Missouri. But the way it works out for a lot of people is you get called to a case and there might be children involved. And sometimes the children are the individuals that are at fault, i.e., they stab their parents. You're going to want to be there because you want to be able to interview those children, and you have to have those investigative techniques to do so, and that's what the school's for. But it also gives you a mindset on how to find these hunters, these individuals that are out there trying to hunt down your children, or they're looking for weaknesses within your daily routine. The problem I have with this is that the media is painting this movie to be terrible, and we're giving it negative reviews. So let's highlight someone right now. So this is The Sound of Freedom review by Nick Allen. That is his name. You guys can look him up on Twitter. He's everywhere. And this is in regards, he works for the RogerEbert.com, and he gives it 2 stars. To give you an example, this guy has given 2 stars or higher to almost every single dumbass movie in the world, whether it be like Clerks 3 or his 4-star review of The Tiger King. How could you? How could you? You're probably not a parent. That's what it is, Nick Allen. You probably don't have children. So you don't understand the impact this movie has on a parent. Get out of your world of just cameras, lights, and action. Doesn't work that way. There's an impact on movies, on individuals that are going through those things, i.e. military movies. A lot of people that are in the military, they watch movies and they get swayed by whatever action they see. And when I see a child being exploited, a child being abducted, a child just being taken, that is a problem for every parent in the world. You're one of 8 billion people, Nick Allen, and you can't even understand that your rating on the movie is wrong. Your review of the movie is just, how can I put it, indecent, not very thoughtful. To say that it's a, how did he put it? It's like talking about the boogeyman. Really? You don't think it's factual because you live in a world that kids don't disappear? I've lived in third world countries. I've also traveled around the world. And you know what's the most amazing thing? I'm going to tell you my experience. And Nick Allen, I'm going to tag you this on Twitter for a reason, okay? By the way, Nick Allen, if you guys don't know, this is him. And he went ahead and the movie Boogeyman, by the way, he went ahead and gave Boogeyman more stars than he did this movie. He also gave Money Shot on Netflix, the Pornhub story, more stars, 3 stars. But when it's bringing awareness to children, The Sound of Freedom, not so good. Additionally, the Waco Aftermath, he gave 2 stars. So I can imagine where his agenda is on the movie reviews he gives. Oh, there it is, Boogeyman, 2.5. That's a real eye-opening movie, by the way. It's going to help the masses. That's just the truth. But I'm going to tell you something, Nick. I'm a parent, right? I have 5 children. You couldn't touch my kids. No one in this world could, because I would come out of my skin. You think the movie Taken, you think that's real? No, you would absolutely see it, because any parent would. It's gut-wrenching. But do you know what happens in third world countries? So I'm going to tell you this story. That's what this channel does. I'm walking in Korea, and I don't want to call it a third world country, but at the time, it wasn't advanced as it is today. Now, this is in about 2001, right after 9/11. And I'm walking in Korea. There's a little boy. He's like 3 years old, and he's in the middle of the street. And I come from California, where you can't be anywhere. I mean, we grew up in the streets, but it was a little different. We could be, as long as we're home, by the time the sun comes down, we're good. And yeah, we were off running around, and we didn't hear about all the kidnappings and child abduction. You don't hear about it like you do today. Today, there's Amber Alerts. Today, everyone knows why, because the internet is real, and it's active, and it's right now. Back then, a kid come up missing. I remember when this Anthony kid came up missing. I can't remember his last name, Anthony Gonzalez. I can't remember. It was like national news, and he got kidnapped right out of his front yard, ended up in the Indio Hills where I was running yesterday. That's where they found his body. And we grew up with that story. Grew up right here in the valley. They abducted a kid out in the hills. You can only imagine what he went through. And even now, I'm gut-wrenched. My stomach turns. And you should see the way you describe the movie Sound of Freedom. The scenes of children being taken, how you're like, it's just children being taken. It's no big deal. It's like, you don't get it. Do they really have to drill down into what's actually happened to the child when he gets abducted for you to even know what the hell it is? What the impact is on a viewer? I'm a military guy. I watched 13 hours of Benghazi, and they left those guys out to die. And although the movie had crazy special effects and it was just bombs and blowing up and it got poor reviews, for me, it was everything. It was like Hillary Clinton, Obama, these guys are at fault. This is the issue. I'm a soldier. This is how I felt about it. It really just tugged at me. This is no different. The Sound of Freedom. That's why I ask you, are you a parent? I don't think you are. Just based off the review you gave the movie. All the parents out there, guys, go watch this movie. I support this movie. I support Adam Aaron showing this movie. I support anyone. I'm not even going to give it any bad press, bad pub, like they did on Twitter the other day saying that AMC is not allowing you to watch it. I'm not doing that. No, go buy the damn tickets and get there. Educate yourself on what it is and how you can prevent it from happening. I'm telling you guys, I've told you stories on how we prevent things from happening in chat rooms, and I was there. I was there at the beginning of the internet when it was all started out. You know, we had Yahoo chat channels where you would ask for a webcam, you would ask for the child, and I saw how these men were targeting 16, 15-year-old women, asking them certain questions, asking them for directions. What do you pass by when you walk to school? What's this? Oh, look at me. I have this big, clock tower. I walk by this water tower. And you would give a description of your whole walk. These guys knew your age, sex, and location. That's the first question they ask you. And then how they got to these girls. And then how we, and my brother's in the same path. The same things were happening, but for adults as well. And he's on that end, with military intelligence and cyber defense. So been working this whole field for a long time, sex trafficking and children trafficking. But don't ever think that you can just give the movie a rating of 2 stars and try to badmouth it in the public like these guys are all doing right now. Go look at social media versus what the mainstream media is telling you. Mainstream media is telling you don't watch it, avoid it. Social media and everyone out here is promoting it for a reason. And I'm going to promote it till the day I drop. That's it. It's where I want to be. It's what I want to talk about because I know I'm privileged. I know I live in a great country. But like I was telling that story about Korea, I'm going to tell you something about it because I lost track no edits, no cuts. It's a one-take session. So I'm living in Korea and I'm walking and I see this little kid. He got to be like 2 or 3 years old. Walking in the middle of the street, early morning, 8:30 in the morning, somewhere in that range. And no parents around. And I'm just saying to myself, holy hell, you could abduct this child right now. No one would even know who took him, who did it, and what's going to happen. Now, I would never, but I'm a graduate, right? Like I'm part of the training. I know how to avoid these pitfalls. And I'm like, whose kid is this? And an old Korean man came out, old Adashi guy. He spoke English. And he goes, it's a child of the village. We raise the children as a village. And I thought, man, that's biblical. No, it's just in certain countries, they actually care about their people. Their governments protect their people. They have a love and infatuation for the people. And unfortunately, I live in a country that does not because it gives platforms to individuals like Nick Allen. These guys who have no affection, no love for their country or their countrymen or the children of it. You put into quotes as in to make fun of God's children. Yeah, they're all God's children. So am I. No matter how old I am, I'm one of God's children, Nick Allen. And I'm telling you, your reviews on movies, it's for yourself, essentially. But this movie needs to be seen by the masses. And you need to say it. Or you're complicit. Very simple. The narrative doesn't change for me. Protect your children at all costs. Enjoy this movie, The Sound of Freedom. You will see people crying in the movie theaters. You will see the actors crying after the fact. Yeah, everyone's shedding tears. This is not The Notebook. This is not Titanic. This is real. It's really happening today. And I hope it brings awareness to it. Good luck. God bless. And understand. I'll die for your children. I don't care how badass of a kid he is. I don't care if it's Bebe's kids. I will die for a child every second of my life because I've lived a good one. Peace.